actually, no, I'll show you now what the panel looked like before I started cutting it up. Problem I had is why it's a bit wonky around here is this is glass reinforced plastic and it is tough. Files don't work on it very well. I use jeweler's saw blades and they just get breaking, so in the end it got a bit graunched. So when it comes to making holes for here, I decided to use a hole drill or step drill and do something else, which I'll show you in a minute. So as it looks a bit of a mess, what I've done is the TFT display, I'll sort of slowly assemble it and then we can talk about the parts in a minute, has a little rough 3D printed panel that goes over the top, some long screws to hold it in place. Jiggle them about a bit, should be another one somewhere. So that holds it there. Then we shall describe this board later, which is basically just an interface board for the display. Sorry, for the display and the keyboard and the buttons, and there are some let's just a closer look. It just has, you can't really see them, there's some NPN transistors and some resistors around them, and they're basically just forming 4 level shifters from the Arduino to the display connectors on there. This is just a connector that goes off to the buttons to get the power, and then there's the diode or diodes on the back, so that you get one button, you can detect any button pressed. So that's basically just a generic little interface board, but let's get the focus again. As you can see here, it's too small. So what I did was I 3D printed some little spacers, which basically just push over doesn't want to go on. This one's putting up a fight. And that was the idea, is that they basically slide over the screws, if you get the screws in the right place. It's being a bit fiddly. That falls down. Let's just turn them out of the way for a minute. Plug the board on. Check it's plugged in. Right, back again. Just tightening up the nuts. It's going to be a bit of fun. Right, they're tight, and then what I do next is, just to make it a little bit easier, I should have printed off some standoffs. There must be some super glue or something got onto this screw. It's really getting tight to put a nut on. Okay, once it gets past the bit where the super glue must have got to when I was gluing something, so basically what I got is a second board with the Arduino on. It's going to go on top of this one, and it just needs a little bit of clearance underneath for the pins, so I'm just using some nuts. Now these are the holes where the touch button sits behind, and as I couldn't easily cut shapes into this, I just did a circle. Oops. And I 3D printed some shapes that can be pressed into the holes. Got really butty fingers today. So there's a kind of up and down shapes, and then there's an M for the menu. It shows up. And then I've also glued in some mounts with some screws in to hold the next bit. This is the touchpads, as you can see. They fit in there and plug in. Jig them into the right places, and then there's a little bit of 3D printed bracketry with some crudely spaced feet. So effectively that sits over the buttons. Find the right screw head now. So that holds the buttons, so you can see them behind the plastic. Next we have some cables that take the signal to the next board. The next board basically just has the Arduino Nano, I think it is, yeah, Nano, and that's just soldered directly on, and then there's some wire links. So the keyboard data, button data comes up on there, screen data and power's on there, and this is power from the rest of the system and the pulse going out to the FET driver, and the little 5-volt regulator. And as you can see, I've had some issues with so there's some extra capacitors thrown about. So basically, that let's work out where it goes. It's quite hard pulling all the screws to the right places, and once it's in the right place, it sits down quite happily on the nuts. That one looks like it needs to go down a bit lower. Right, it looks like it's going to sit happy on there. And the last remaining nuts on. Much easier with a nut driver, or if I hadn't spilled what I think was super glue on the threads. But I suppose the more these nuts come on and off, the threads will eventually get clean. So that's tight, tight. Tight, and the last one. Tight. And then they plug on there. Now this sits on the front of the unit. This board is basically a large FET, a high side FET switching IC on a little daughter board. Not sure if you can see what it is. No, you can't make it out. But that basically is a little charge pump on it, and provides the power voltage required to drive the FET properly. And it's all just messy solder underneath, and there's a 10 ohm resistor and a 100 mic cap to provide some filtering before the supply goes up to the main board. The main board plugs on like that. The cable from the soldering iron plugs in there. And that's the basis for the soldering iron.